Horror manga gives you the chills, right? There's something super spooky about these Japanese comics. They pull you in. Ink and paper become like windows into scary worlds. The black and white pictures, the detailed, sometimes gross drawings. The quiet between the pictures lets your mind fill in the scary parts. This isn't like Hollywood horror with jump scares. This is deeper, something that gets under your skin and stays there after you're done reading. What makes horror manga so scary? It's the slow buildup, the way it gets creepier and creepier, picture by picture, page by page. It's how artists use shadows, page layouts, and even blank space to make it scary. It's perfect for horror, and it's made some of the scariest stories ever. Are you brave enough to check out these worlds, to face the darkness in these comics? If you are, get ready, because this stuff will stick with you. There are tons of different manga, something for everyone. But for horror fans, it's hard to find the scary stuff. Lots of manga have scary parts, but finding the ones that really get under your skin, that's the tough part. It's easy to get lost, tricked by covers with blood and jump scares. But real horror manga isn't about cheap thrills. It's about the mood, the tension, the slow creepiness that gets into your bones. So how do you find these hidden gems? You could spend hours online reading recommendations. Or you could start with the masters, the best horror manga writers ever. Horror manga has some legendary creators. These artists are amazing, making scary stories that have freaked people out for years. Their stories are more than just jump scares. They go into the darkest parts of our minds, exploring our deepest fears. Names like Junji Ito, Kazuo Umezu, and Hideshi Hino are super famous. Their work is classic, inspiring other artists and scaring readers for years. But even among these masters, some stories are extra creepy, so disturbing they're known as the scariest manga ever. Get ready, we're going into the darkness to see the stories that made these creators masters of horror. Junji Ito. That name alone is scary, and for good reason. Ito is a master of creepy stuff. His stories have haunted readers for years. But one story stands out, Uzumaki. Uzumaki is about a small town that goes crazy over spirals. It starts small snails, whirlpools, smoke, but the spirals get creepy, twisting everything. Ito's art is amazing. His detailed drawings and shadows make it super scary. The spirals pull you into the town's madness. Uzumaki is a slow burn, a descent into madness that sticks with you. It shows Ito's genius, a story that will keep spiraling in your head. Junji Ito, the king of horror manga, does it again with Tomie, a creepy story about obsession, jealousy, and gross stuff. This series introduces Tomie Kawakami, a super pretty girl with a dark secret. Tomie isn't normal. She can control men, making them crazy and violent with her charm. But what's really weird is that she can come back to life even after dying horribly, still beautiful. Each chapter of Tomie is like a scary fairy tale, a warning about the unknown. We see how bad things get when people meet Tomie, as she ruins everyone around her. Ito's art is amazing, showing both Tomie's beauty and how creepy she is. Tomie is a lesson in psychological horror, exploring the worst parts of people. Get ready for Gantz, a sci-fi horror story with crazy violence, gross creatures, and scary questions about life. Created by Hiroya Oku, Gantz is not for wimps. It's about Kei Kurono, a high school student who dies. But instead of resting, he wakes up in a weird apartment trapped by a black ball called Gantz. With other dead people, Kei has to play a deadly game. With futuristic weapons, they hunt aliens hiding among us. Each mission is a fight to survive, pushing them to their limits. Gantz is a wild ride, full of action, gore, and big questions. Oku's detailed art shows the violence and creatures perfectly. Gantz is a must-read for those who want horror that makes you think. Enter the Shadows with Hellsing, a manga that makes vampires cool again with stylish violence and dark humor. Created by Kuda Hirano, Hellsing is awesome and action-packed. It's about the Hellsing organization, a secret group protecting England from supernatural baddies. Alucard, a powerful vampire, leads the fight. With his vampire friend Ceres Victoria, And Integra Hellsing, Alucard fights rogue vampires, Nazis, and other monsters. Hellsing looks amazing, with Hirano's art mixing gothic style with gritty realism. The action is brutal and cool, showing Alucard's power in the dark world. Hellsing is great for fans of vampires, action horror, and stylish manga. If there's one horror manga that's truly creepy, that makes you uneasy even after you're done, it's Boogiepop Phantom. This supernatural thriller based on Kuhei Kadono's book is a masterclass in scary mood, a slow burn that will stick with you. Boogiepop Phantom takes place 5 years after weird murders in a Japanese city. The legend of Boogiepop, a death spirit that looks like a high school girl, is an urban legend. But when weird stuff starts happening again, people think Boogiepop is back. The story is told from different viewpoints: students, teachers, police, each connected to the past murders. The real horror is in the mood. The art, while not as gross as Ito's, is still creepy. Shadows are everywhere, faces are hidden, and the city feels heavy with dread. The story is slow, revealing secrets bit by bit, making you figure out what happened. It's haunting and unforgettable, something you won't forget. This is just a small look into horror manga. There are so many more stories out there, each ready to pull you into their creepy worlds. From the cosmic horror of Drifting Classroom to the psychological terror of the Enigma of Amigara Fault, there's so much to explore, so jump in, embrace the darkness, explore horror manga, and when you find stories that really scare you, share them. Because the best horror stories are meant to be shared and talked about. Check out our channel for more horror recommendations. We'll be talking more about horror manga, exploring different types, creators, and themes. Until then, happy reading, and sweet dreams.